What's up, my YouTube family? Sergeant Graybeard at Graybeard Gaming Group. Today is Friday, January 22nd, and as always, I hope this message finds you healthy and safe. Many of you have reached out to the channel recently asking if I would put together an LMG build that did not have an exotic weapon or item at its core. Therefore, that's exactly what I'm doing for you today, my friends. One thing I'd like to mention really quick as we begin is I actually posted this video earlier this week, and unfortunately there were some rendering issues, therefore I needed to repost it today. Now, if you happen to be new to the channel, first of all, welcome. Secondly, feel free to hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to be a part of our gaming family, and if you enjoyed this or found it helpful at all, take a quick second and hit that like button. It really does help us out. Finally, as most of you know, we have giveaways here, and our current one is for an Xbox Series X. However, more importantly, we will also be making a donation in the winner's name to St. Jude Children's Hospital for $500. The winner will be announced on April 4th of this year to celebrate our 1-year anniversary of the YouTube channel, and all you need to do to enter is subscribe here or follow us on Twitter. Either way is fine. As always, please keep in mind that watching our content is not a requirement to win. Only watch the things here you may enjoy. That's why I give you the option of entering via Twitter. Having said that, let's get into today's build video. As always, I'm going to start this video off by showing you a little bit of footage of the build in action. Then we'll go over the build itself, and at the end of the video, I'll go to the shooting range and give you a breakdown of just how much damage this thing can do. Now, having said that, please keep in mind that this is just a template. This is how I like running the build. You may want to use a different LMG. You may want to use a different specialization. The most important thing is make sure you make these builds your own. One other quick recommendation I like to give, and this is really geared towards players who are just returning to the game or people who are new, is that when you try a new build, go to a mission or control point where you know the patterns of the NPCs. That way you can really get used to the thing. Enough of the chit-chat, my friends. Let's get to the build itself. As always, we will start off with the specialization. I happen to be using Gunner for a few reasons. First of all, I love using the foam grenades, and those really do help out whether you're playing solo or in a group. You can see here that killing enemies grants 10% armor. Every third reload is 50% faster, and that really does come in handy, especially with LMGs, because they are one of the slowest weapons to reload in the game. One more thing I'd like to point out really quick is make sure anytime you're doing a new build with a different weapon and your specialization, make sure the correct weapon is activated in regards to getting that 15% extra damage bonus. So typically for me, when I'm using Gunner, I'm using either the shotgun, the SMG, or the rifle. So I needed to make sure I went into the specialization, respec the points so I do get that 15% extra damage with an LMG. Now on to the build itself, my friends. I'm running a Black Market RPK-74E. You can see that it has 15% LMG damage, 12% damage to targets out of cover, and 6% damage to armor. For the talent, I'm using Frenzy. For every 10 bullets in the magazine capacity, gain 3% rate of fire and 3% weapon damage for 5 seconds when reloading from empty. Now, this is one of those things you could use any talent you like. I really enjoy using this one with this build. However, for me, I need to get used to not reloading the weapon because you want to let it get completely empty so you get that rate of fire and weapon damage bonus. As far as the mods go, I have the extended magazine to get those 20 extra rounds, and with everything else, I just want to stack crit hit chance, crit hit damage anywhere I can with this weapon. Now moving on to the gear itself, my friends, you can see I'm running 2 Providence, 1 Grupo Sombra, 2 Walker and Harris, and 1 Petrov. Starting off with the mask, I absolutely love this thing. It's the first piece of Providence in this build. It gives you that 15% headshot damage, and what I'm really doing with all of these pieces is just trying to stack crit hit chance and crit hit damage everywhere I can. Now, one thing I can recommend is if you do have the Coyote's mask, you definitely want to use that either on your own or in a group. It really can help you out when it comes to, just really maximizing this build. Moving on to the body armor, my friends, it's the one piece of Grupo Sombra that I have in this build that gives you the 15% crit hit damage, and with the talent I'm running Braced, while in cover, weapon handling is increased by 45%. And in my opinion, that talent makes this build extremely effective because typically with an LMG, the handling isn't that great, so this obviously helps out tremendously. However, as I said earlier, anytime you're putting a build together, pick something that suits your style of gameplay, so if there happens to be another talent you'd rather use on the chest, obviously feel free to do that. Now moving on to the holster and knee pads, my friends. They are both Walker and Harris, and we have those equipped so we get that 5% weapon damage bonus and 5% damage to armor. Next we have the gloves, and I'm using the contractor's gloves because they give you an 8% damage to armor bonus. However, if you do not have those, any Petrov glove is fine because the most important thing is getting that 10% LMG damage. Last but not least, my friends, we have the backpack. It is the second piece of provenance in this build, which gives us a 10% critical hit chance bonus, and the talent on here is Unstoppable Force. You can see here it says killing an enemy increases total weapon damage by 5% for 15 seconds, stacks up to 5 times, but again, this is one of those things where you can really pick a talent that suits your gameplay. As far as the skills go, I'm running the Revive Hive in case things get sideways because this build does not have a lot of armor. I also have the Assault Drone because not only does it put out damage, it's also a great way to distract NPCs. Finally, in regards to the stats themselves, you can see I'm perfectly maxed out at 60% crit hit chance. I have 124.8% crit hit damage, headshot is at 109, and armor damage is at 19%. Moving on to the next page, you can see that the all weapons damage bonus is 103.6%, and our LMG damage bonus is 40%. And as we start to wrap this video up, one thing I like to mention in all of these build videos is that this build is far from perfect. However, I like to highlight builds like this to show you it doesn't have to be perfect to get the job done. As I mentioned earlier, another thing I'd like to point out is that this is just a template. I mean, a good example is I know people that love running glass cannon on their chest piece. I can't do that. Like, I get lit up too quick. It's just not my thing. So once again, take your time, learn these builds, learn the different talents, enjoy the game, and yeah, on that note, we're going to finish this up, my friends. At this point, I'd like to take a moment and thank you all for your continued support. You guys are amazing. I sincerely appreciate how you've supported this channel, and as always, any questions or comments you have, please leave them down below. One of the many reasons I enjoy making build videos is due to the fact that when I make these, people comment down below, you talk about changes you'd make, you give suggestions to other players, and in my opinion, that is exactly why we are building this community. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you are new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to be a part of our gaming family. If you enjoyed this, you can hit that like button as well. But most importantly, as always, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.